Hi Hunters, Marneus here. In this video, we're diving into two of the core defensive skills for Gunlance, or really any weapon that can guard and guard up. On the surface, they might seem straightforward, but each one can completely change how your hunts play out. From reducing knockback and stamina drain, to letting you block attacks that normally send you flying, these skills decide whether you stand your ground, or end up carding. We'll break down exactly what guard and guard up do, how each level actually feels in practice, and when you really need them in your Gunlance builds. Let's start with guard. According to the skill description, guard reduces both knockback and stamina consumption when blocking. The numbers we're given are stamina reductions of 15, 30, and 50% at the respective levels. But here's the catch. The description doesn't actually tell us how much impact reduction you're getting. So, to see the real difference, I set up the training dummy with maximum attack strength and tested each level of guard to compare the knockback and stamina drain. Let's take a look at how it plays out. So as we can see here, knockback from the training dummy only occurs if you don't have guard in your build. Once you add any level of guard, the knockback is completely negated. There's also chip damage when running with no guard at all, which disappears as soon as guard is active. That's already a big deal for survivability. Now, the stamina drain is where the numbers really stand out. Going from no guard to guard 1 is a huge difference, with both chip damage removed and stamina usage dropping significantly. Between guard 2 and guard 3 though, the change is much harder to notice, since stamina drain becomes almost negligible. Keep in mind, this is only with the training dummy's attack properties. Different monsters will vary in terms of stamina drain and chip damage, depending on the strength and special properties of their attacks. And here, we're only looking at normal guarding. So the question is, does guard still matter when you perfect guard? To find out, I'll be changing the dummy's smash pattern to strong, to also make a point about why mastering perfect guard can make such a huge difference. Let's take a look. Similar to the normal guarding test earlier, guard does reduce stamina drain quite noticeably when going from no guard to guard 1. But just like before, the difference between guard 2 and guard 3 isn't very clear. In terms of knockback, there might be a slight pushback when perfect guarding with no guard compared to guard 1, but it's so subtle that I don't think it really affects gameplay. Let me know if you notice any difference from the test. The biggest takeaway here is chip damage. With perfect guard, there's no chip damage at all, even without guard in your build. That's why mastering perfect guard is so important. Not only does it keep stamina usage low, but it also eliminates chip damage in situations where you'd normally take it, making it one of the most vital skills you can develop as a Gunlancer. That said, keep in mind that chip damage will still vary depending on the monster and the type of attack you're guarding. Overall, this shows that guard provides value in both normal guarding and perfect guard situations, giving you more stamina to chain guards against fast monster attacks or to save enough for an evade when you need it most. So after the test you just saw, the big question is, what level of guard should you actually be running? Honestly, I've asked myself the same thing. For the longest time, I just blindly followed what was written online without really testing the skill myself. But after putting it through these tests, here's how I see it. Personally, I think adding just one level of guard is more than enough for most fights. It smooths out your gameplay without eating up too much of your build space. And if you're using a weapon like the G-Lawful Boars, which comes with guard built in, that's already guard 2. It feels incredibly comfy, making it one of the best Gunlances overall. As a bare minimum though, I'd recommend guard 1. If you're fighting monsters that deal heavy knockback, like Jin or Lagiacrus, then guard 2 should be more than enough. Guard 3, in my opinion, starts to feel a little overkill, since at that point you could be running stronger offensive or utility skills instead, unless you don't have a better combination available. The nice thing is that guard is also fairly easy to slot in, since it often comes paired with other weapon skill decorations. So even just one level tends to fit neatly into most builds. Next up, let's talk about guard up. I've noticed a lot of you in the comments saying you're big fans of this skill and that you run max guard up on every build. Now, maybe it's just me, or maybe I'm seeing something differently. But from my own experience, and after some last-minute testing while editing this video, I don't think guard up is quite as strong as some of you make it out to be. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the skill is completely useless, but for Gunlance, I think you're usually better off either investing in another skill that actually boosts your gameplay and damage, or simply learning to avoid the specific attacks and grabs that guard up covers. At its core, guard up's main function is to let you block attacks that would normally be unblockable, and in wilds, that mostly means monster grabs like Steve, New Udra, Arkveld, or even Gore. Outside of those grabs though, I honestly haven't seen many attacks that specifically require guard up so far. Still, just to be thorough, let's put it to the test and see how much damage reduction guard up actually provides at different levels.
Making some changes?
Pretty sure you don't even need a side-by-side to see that guard up does reduce chip damage from unguardable attacks, and that's the point. It does work, just not for the regular chip damage you take from normal attacks. It only applies to grabs or very specific unblockables. The issue is those kinds of attacks or grabs are few and far between. Most of the time you can avoid them consistently with good positioning or timing, and if you avoid them, you avoid the chip damage entirely. Here's a clip comparing guard up 3 with a Gunlance that has no guard up against Steve's double swipe, just to reinforce my point. As you can see, the chip damage from Steve's double swipe is identical with guard up 3 and without it. And that makes sense. Steve's double swipe isn't an unguardable attack, so guard up doesn't activate there. That's why I don't fully understand the need to run guard up at max level. I'm not saying anyone's opinions are invalid. I could be missing something that some of you are seeing. I'm fully prepared to be proven wrong or shown the situations where guard up 3 is truly beneficial to a Gunlance build. I do understand if you want to run guard up 1 just for those specific grabs or unblockable attacks. But if you've got a solid reason for running it at max level, let me know in the comments. I'd really like to hear your perspective. So to sum it up, guard is a solid skill that gives you consistency and stamina control, with level 1 usually being the sweet spot for most Gunlance builds, while guard 2 provides that extra comfort. Guard up, on the other hand, is much more situational. It does its job for specific unblockables, but outside of that, I don't really see the need to max it. But that's just my take. I'd love to hear what you all think. Do you run max guard up on your builds? And if so, why? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I really encourage discussion because it helps clear up misconceptions around skills and makes us all better hunters. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more Gunlance guides and discussions here on the channel. And if you want to join the conversation with other hunters, check out the Discord. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching, hunters. I'm Marneus, and I'll see you in the next hunt.